Lucio coming at you.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to tonight's Chair League match between Ridgeback Lords and Divine 9. This is actually a rematch of a match that happened about a month ago. And that time, it was Divine 9 coming out on top of what I recall was a very close match. It was went all the way to game number 3, so came down right to the end. So, since then, these teams have all played 3 games. Divine 9 has gone 1-2, and the Ridgeback Lords have gone 2-1. So both teams ended up with the same record, which is why they're squaring off again. It's kind of how these Chair League algorithms go. You know, it's usually the teams that kind of have a similar record, similar MMR, that gets matched up. It's one of the joys of doing the schedule each week instead of ahead of time. But yeah, oh my god, stream is getting going a little bit late here, and part of that is due to my potato of a computer. I tried to reboot it about 20 minutes ago, and it is still super sluggish. Like, it is just barely responding. Still, I figure Windows has to be doing an update or something, but it's just really not running well. Yeah, I mean, my computer, I think, is pretty much like 2 potatoes just duct taped together. Like, you know how like kids will impersonate an adult by like standing on top of each other in a big trench coat? It's kind of how my computer is. It's 2 potatoes that are duct taped together just with a computer case thrown over them. Trying to trick everyone into thinking it's an actual computer, but I know the truth. So the first game here is going to be on Braxis Holdout. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting on everyone to get all ready up. Maybe other people are having similar computer troubles as me, but who knows? We'll see. Everyone was here a moment ago, but slight disconnect. Yeah, people are saying the store is inaccessible. Yeah, which I'm seeing too, so Blizzard not going to get any money from me tonight. Not that they do ever, really. I've played so many hours of this game. I have made very few actual purchases. I'm pretty much a free-to-play player, which means I do have to do a ton of grinding to get the gold, and I have to get all the heroes to level 5 and 9 in some cases, just so I can get that 500 and 750 gold bonus, respectively. But I've done enough grinding that I've gotten all the heroes, and I'm not sure I'm going to have enough for saved up for Probius at the moment. I'm sitting at about 8,000. It's probably not going to be enough. And I've already gotten the Brawl reward for this week, so not going to have another, oh boy, we are having some technical difficulties here. The lobby, like, just completely disbanded, which is, it's kind of odd. Not what I was expecting. Okay, I'm being reinvited, so But yeah, between the store being unavailable and us all just being kicked from the lobby, that's pretty weird. Hopefully this all straightens out. Hopefully we get to have a match here shortly. Apparently the Blizzard servers are being run off of my potato computer. Well done, Blizzard. In fact, I kind of wonder if maybe something's going on with the Battle.net servers. I know when I was trying to log on just a few minutes ago, it said I was disconnected from Battle.net a couple different times. Kind of had to brute force my way into getting on. I had to try multiple times. I don't know if that's related. I just kind of assumed that was my computer acting up. But I don't know. In any case, everyone is now in the lobby, so hopefully we can get this going underway here shortly. Alright, but here we go. Draft underway here for game number 1. Fingers crossed. Hopefully no disconnects or anything. So this is going to be Ridgeback Lords with first pick, first ban. So definitely curious to see which kind of direction they're going to go with this draft. So they're going to ban out Morales right off the bat. This is a very strong map for her. I think it's safe to say it's her best map. It's pretty difficult to gank her, which is kind of what she's vulnerable to. And if you're unable to do that to Morales, she's easily the best support in the game, I think. I mean, her healing output is pretty much unparalleled. It's always on a single target, too, which is a very nice thing. You know, someone's being bursted down, you can safeguard and healing beam them. They're going to be pretty safe. So, ban coming out here for Divine 9, so could look to possibly... I was thinking maybe they could look to ban out another support to limit the support options, but that probably wouldn't be smart. They could ban out either Malfurion or Lucio, but Ridgeback Lords would probably pick up whichever one was available. And then Divine 9 wouldn't be able to pick the other one. So, because they left Malfurion available, they can now pick him up here, should they choose. But certainly not going to be able to grab Lucio. I think for sure they pick up Malfurion here. Otherwise, he's going to be banned out. This is their only drafting phase before another ban phase. But already, Ridgeback Lord's looking to have a very dominant 4-man. Lucio is pretty excellent in a 4-man, as he does put out continuous AoE healing. But no Malfurion going to be picked up. Instead, deciding to go for Zarya, who honestly is extremely strong on this map. This is a fairly insane map for Zarya. I can definitely understand the Zarya pick. I'm not sure that ETC was so critically important that he had to be picked up now. But ETC is ridiculously good. Can't really blame him for wanting to pick him up. And hopefully they have some kind of plan for dealing with the lack of Malfurion. But 2 more picks are coming out for Ridgeback Lords, so They have a tremendous amount of sustain from Lucio. I'm wondering if they're going to go for a second support. And they are. They are going to go with Tassadar Vala. So, tremendous amount of sustain coming out for Ridgeback Lords. And Zarya, no slouch in that department either. You know, I think I know where they might be going in this draft, why they didn't decide to pick up Malfurion. So, if Malfurion does get banned out, I think you just go to Ariel. I figured it out. Ariel with Zarya is fairly insane. So Ariel, she gets energy when you, when your bestowed hope target does damage, which Zarya can certainly do a lot of. But you can also take Empathic Link, so that you take that down at level 7, so that when the target is also damaged, you also get energy. And Zarya being a warrior, it's kind of meant to be beat on. So, assuming you take that talent, which I would recommend, you're going to get a ton of energy for Ariel. Thanks to the damage that Zarya is doing, and the damage she's taking. So, Dahaka banned out, Malfurion going to be banned out as well. But I have a feeling Divine Knight was looking to go for Malfurion or Ariel, whichever one was available. So, I feel like the Malfurion ban doesn't accomplish anything here. Unless you just really don't think that Divine 9 is leaning towards Ariel. But I like the Dahaka ban, so I feel like Divine 9 feels like they are going to have trouble in the 4-man. Just thanks to Lucio, Tassadar, and Vala. So looking to take away one of the dominant top laners in Dahaka. And Dahaka very strong on this map, but at the same time, Divine 9 doesn't have a top laner of their own. And I feel like what they could do, potentially, is they could wait for the top laner to be picked up by Ridgeback Lords and then counter it with the last pick. But no Ariel! No! I was certain that was going to be Ariel. I mean, that should have been Ariel. But no, choosing to go instead for Brightwing and Li Ming. So they are going to have a global. They are going to have a good deal of poke. They are going to have some burst protection from Zarya. And just a great deal of sustain from Brightwing. Yeah, I don't know. Really think that should have been Ariel. So, Tora picks are coming up for Ridgeback Lords. Going to need a warrior. Probably a secondary frontline. Who also can double as a solo laner, and that's going to be Alarak. So, kind of an old school tank meta going on here. At least from a couple months ago. Where Merge and ETC are highly contested. But last pick coming out for Divine Knight. Still need a solo laner. And they need someone who can go well against Alarak. I don't feel like Chen does well against him. I feel like Dahaka can do well, but of course they banned him out. And, you know, this is kind of the problem that they've put themselves in. I don't know, it could be Thrall. No, it's going to be Zagara. You know, it's funny, I heard someone talking about how, you know, Zagara's in a good place now. You know, she got some buffs, I think, in some recent patches, but I don't know, I just played a game against her. Same old Zagara, you know. Does well in the early game, falls off super hard. I don't know. I think Zagara can do pretty well, though, against Alarak. I feel like that is a lane matchup Zagara can win. She can stay out of range of telekinesis and still push the lane. I feel like she can out poke him too, thanks to the hunter killers and all the roaches she can throw at him. Plus, if she can actually clear the lane faster than him, then she has that additional poke from the minions. Jad's up. It's nothing to sneeze at. But here we go. Giving her one between Ridgeback Lords. I'm hitting Shift Tab. What? Oh, that's because it's it's that. It's Shift Z. On the side of Ridgeback Lords, it is Kina on Lucio, Epic on Tassadar, Dami on Vala, Stixa on Alarak, and R-Race on Muradin. And for Divine 9, it is Jason on Brightwing, Rapid Penguin on ETC, Ice Fox Emily on Zagara, Ohio 03 on Li Ming, and Nyanyu is what I'm going to go with on Zarya. So right off the bat, it's going to be Power Hungry from Li Ming. I do think makes sense. There's not a lot of ability damage to be concerned about, but there's also a lot of globes here on this map. But the fact there's not a lot of ability damage to worry about means she doesn't have to pick up Force Armor. Yeah, that's going to be Demolitions Expert for Zarya. And it's going to be Hyper Shift from Brightwing. Usually, I kind of like the bribe talent on this map. Pixie Charm, you're always in a 4-man. But you know, ETC really wanting that globe to complete his prog rock quest, but he is going to be denied. As the rest of his team decide, you know what, we don't have a quest, we don't care about the globe. But ETC going in hard, gets the shield from Zarya. And the great Pixie Dust from Jason on Brightwing, going to get him out. So, I mean, ETC did go in hard there, but really did get poked out pretty quick. Not sure he accomplished too much. But thankfully, they didn't really lose anything. All he kind of lost was some mana from the power slide, and Brightwing doesn't really have to worry about mana. Zarya doesn't have to worry about mana. But very aggressive power slide coming in from ETC, but this time there will be no rescue for him. So far ETC being awfully aggressive, and Zarya going to be the next to fall. So things going very well in the bottom lane for Ridgeback Lords. They're going well in the top lane too, because Zagara going to get caught by the telekinesis combo from Alarak. So not sure why he's not on this beacon. He's got to feel pretty good that he's won this lane and no one's rotating up. But control of both beacons is going to go over to Ridgeback Lords to start things off. Zagara, jeez. Zagara on her way back to the top lane. Yeah, she's been out of the meta for so long, it's like, can't even say her name anymore. You know, there's going to be Brightwing going down in the bottom lane, so unless Zagara can do what she can to muscle Alarak off of this beacon. No, the Brightwing going to phase shift in just in time to stop that from being a 100% channel. Meanwhile, the Fire Bats are going to excellently be picked up here by Ridgeback Lords. Did a great job of sneaking that out. Meanwhile, Muradin made the rotation up to the top lane. And that is going to secure the last 6% on the beacons. That is going to be the superior Zerg wave going over to Ridgeback Lords, which will be pushing here in the bottom lane, which is definitely favorable for them, as that is where their 4-man was already. But really just a tremendous amount of sustain here from Ridgeback Lords. They do have Vala, who basically do a ton of damage without spending any mana. They have Lucio who can heal mostly without any mana. They have Tassadar. And they have Murden who, if he gets chunked out, he can just run away for a little bit. Get all the way back to full health. Although he didn't take a third wind. Actually a perfect storm, which I really like considering the composition. You already have 2 supports. Don't really need that extra bit of healing. Pretty much good on healing at that point, and speccing into extra damage I do think is a wise choice. So that is going to be bottom 4 going down. Whereas Alarak doing fine up in the top lane. The turrets are out of ammo, so Zagara winning this push. And you know what? I don't think Alarak has any abilities that can reveal creep tumors, so this might actually be a bad matchup for him. But the invasion is going to be attempted here by Ridgeback Lords, and it's going to be sniffed out by Divine 9, but fortunately for them, they are down a level and a talent tier. That is going to be ETC going to be the first to fall. Zarya going to be next. And Li Ming completely out of mana. Not much she is going to be able to do to contest this. So I saw like a little circle down here earlier. I thought it was like healing ward from someone, but no, it was actually boombox from Lucio, which a lot of people just use for vision. But I mean, I don't know about that talent. Like I don't know about using that for just vision, which is about all it's good for. I mean, it's a level 7 talent for an inferior version of scouting drone, so I feel like there's better talents at that tier. Party mix, I think, is pretty excellent, and it would be completed pretty quickly here. As the requirements for that talent are basically you need to, every time you heal a party member for a second, you get a stack. Once you get to 480 stacks, it increases the range on your crossfade. So if you're healing a lot of people, you know, 3 others, it's going to complete that quest very quickly. Which means that you can be a little safer in your positioning. You can stay in the back a little more. Your teammate's still going to get that additional healing. So, next set of beacons coming up. And ETC thinking about an invasion. But he is going to be greeted by a Stormbolt to the face. And Ridgeback Lords, we have to be careful. This is a 4v5. As everyone is up here for Divine 9. That is going to be Vala going down. But ETC going to go down as well. But level 10 coming out for Ridgeback Lords, and Avatar coming out for Murden. So even though they do have the numbers advantage up here, and by the way, they no longer have the advantage because Alarak has rotated up. They're certainly down a gigantic talent tier. And ETC unable to come in with stage dive or anything like that because level 10 not yet reached. Don't know for sure that he would go stage dive anyway. But Ridgeback Lord's happy to only control one of the beacons, as that means that Divine 9 is going to be concentrated all up in one lane, meaning they're not getting soaked in the other lanes, which means they're not going to hit level 10. So as long as Ridgeback Lords can be careful and not die in the 4v5, they're in good shape. But now that Alarak is here, it's definitely a 5v5. Actually make that a 5v3, as ETC and Li Ming have gone down. So this is going to be likely be another 100% to 0 Zerg wave in favor of Ridgeback Lords. They're just going to help themselves to a nice tasty little siege camp. You know, ETC looking to... Not only is ETC looking to power slide right through the enemy team once again, but looks like it's not going to happen this time. But this time, Zerg Wave coming up in the top lane for Ridgeback Lords. And Zagar rotating up to aid with the defense. But don't think it's going to matter as the top 4 has gone down. It's still about 50% on the Zerg Wave, so I think probably this keep wall goes down. But don't think going to be able to do too much more with the Zerg Wave. Level 10 has been reached by Divine 9, so and it is going to be Mosh Pit. And I think they were trying to set up the Mosh Pit there with the Graviton Surge. I think that was the plan, but fortunately no Mosh Pit coming off of that. I think probably they thought that only 1 or 2 people were hit. Might not be worth it to go in there and do that. But Vala also did take Rain of Vengeance, so they're going to have the additional interrupt. In addition to Stormbolt from Murden. And I think maybe Lucio had to go on off the wall there. I think maybe that has enough range then to interrupt it. Not totally sure about that. But meanwhile, a fight coming out from Divine 9, but a big three-man mosh pit is going to be interrupted by, not totally sure what it was interrupted by, but that's going to be Brightwing and Li Ming going down. ETC going to go down as well. I thought maybe it was Alarak who interrupted it with his Discord strike, but it said Murder was stunned. So, do not believe that Alarak has a stun on his kit. But with those 3 down in favor of, I guess I should say, for Ridgeback Lord, instead of picking up the Bruiser camp, they decided, you know what, we can do even better than that. We can pick up the boss. We're just going to start marching down the top lane. You know, party bush situation being set up here by Ridgeback Lords. And Tassadar is going to just kind of walk out and scare everyone away. And I was thinking that maybe he kind of revealed the, sprung the trap a little too early, but they didn't have Murd in there. Murd, the one who initiates, the one who kind of locks people down, allows you to get kills. And Murd was not there, but Graviton Surge going to come down onto Alarak, who is going to pop a Counter Strike, making him basically invulnerable there. Is going to deny any kind of follow-up. But yeah, like, I mean, that's Subwoofer, I mean, I don't know about that. Or the boombox. Don't know about that. I mean, everyone's already there. They don't need the extra range there that provides. So this is going to be both beacons once again going over to Ridgeback Lords. Don't unfortunately for Divine 9, don't believe that they have charged a single percent of these beacons so far. Part of that you can certainly blame on the composition. The draft very, very strong here from Ridgeback Lords. I thought ETC was it looked like he was trying to stage dive away, but no, that was actually Mosh Pit, which delayed his death momentarily in exchange for a 120-second cooldown. So gonna go out on a limb and say that was not worth it. So Vala going to get control of the bottom beacon. And without ETC, without threat of Mosh Pit for another 80 seconds or so, I think this is going to be another 100% to 0 Zerg wave going over to Ridgeback Lords. So, Murray and Tassadar sitting in a bush. Don't think there's much they can accomplish by themselves, but when the rest of the team shows up, there's certainly a lot they can accomplish. Murden looking at Brightwing. who is going to try and blink heal away out to safety. But the sound barrier coming out from Lucio. That is going to be Brightwing going down. Zagara going to be the next to fall. Fortunately, the Devouring Maul only kind of delayed the inevitable there. That's going to be Zarya going down as well. And unfortunately, that's not all, because this keep is going to go down. Probably this bottom keep going to go down as well. As the ETC just does not have the greatest wave clear in the world. And I'm not sure they can actually end here. I mean, GG being called out here by Divine 9, but everyone's about to be up. I mean, ETC isn't, but at that point, yeah, I think that's, I think that is pretty much going to be game. There's just so much sustain here on the side of Ridgeback Lords, so when you're up 3-4 levels, then I mean, even the core and Li Ming just not going to be able to poke you out. Alright, so congratulations to Ridgeback Lords. They're going to take game number 1. And, you know, that was the map selection of Divine 9, and I don't know. I feel like some draft mistakes there may have cost them a little bit. It seemed like Ridgeback Lords definitely drafted better, and I think the fact that they banned out Morales first, it just really shows that great understanding of that map and what's really good there, what's important on that map. I think Ariel alone would have really helped out Divine 9. Yeah, just tremendous synergy with Zarya. Fortunately, that was also a rough game for that poor ETC. Ugh. Hate to see that kind of thing happen. So, just waiting on the map pick here for game number 2. Simon is going to be Ridgeback Lord's map pick, I believe. Yes. So, map is still being decided on, so gonna get that going here momentarily. Yeah. Thank you all for coming out here and watching some cheer league action here on a Friday night. Not really too much going on in the realm of competitive Heroes of the Storm, other than cheer league, of course. But HGC is off for both hemispheres. I thought the Eastern Clash was going to be this weekend, but apparently it's next weekend. And, I mean, the HCC for the Western region is just sounds like a month-long hiatus break. I mean, geez. I think it's like well into April that gets back going. Maybe not well into April. Let me look. We got time. Yeah, it is well into April. It's the 14th of April. Jeez. Okay, so getting the invite here. Seeing that Ridgeback Lords are in a game? Like, okay, looks like it was just BattleNet glitching. There we go. So game number 2 is going to be on Dragonshire. Let's get that all updated in the fancy schmancy Chair League site. And here we go. So I do find this a little bit interesting. So Ridgeback Lords, they just won on a map that was all about controlling 2 points. And that was not their map pick. So this time they picked the other map that is largely about controlling 2 points. They decided, you know what, that went so well, let's just do it again. Or unfortunately for them, this time they will not have first pick, first ban. So it is going to be Dahaka once again taken off the table by Divine 9. So I really don't want to deal with Dahaka on either of these maps. And I don't blame him. Dahaka is a gigantic pain. Tremendous amount of sustain, tremendous amount of ability to control a point. Which are things that are very good on these maps. So, another pick here coming out for Ridgeback Lords, or not a pick, actually a ban coming out here for Ridgeback Lords, and going to go ahead and ban out Lucio. Guess Ridgeback Lords decided if we can't have him, nobody can. But it's going to be Ragnaros first picked up here for Divine 9. So I feel like Malfurion has to come out here for Ridgeback Lords, as you want to deny the Ragnaros Malfurion, potentially Zeratul Wombo combo, which has been so prevalent in HCC. At least in the NA teams. I don't think we saw too much of that from Europe, but we didn't see too much of that to Clash either. There's going to be ETC and Malfurion. So they're going to guarantee themselves a fairly strong duo, as Power Slide into Roots is really, really good. So 2 more picks here. Coming out for Divine 9. So I'm curious to see if they are going to still try and go into some sort of Wombo combo. As I don't think there's much escape on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Yeah, from a Zeratul, Jaina, Ragnaros kind of thing. The only real kind of counter to that is Tyrael, and ETC has already been picked up, so no warrior is going to be available. So Vala and Rhaegar are going to be the picks here for Divine 9. So Vala, last game she did extremely well, but she had Tassadar behind her, as well as Lucio, but basically a double support situation. I assume Tassadar is going to get banned out here by Ridgeback Lords, which means that Vala is going to be a little unprotected, perhaps. Although, yeah, I feel like Divine 9 could probably get either Zarya or Tassadar, whichever one is not banned out. I don't feel like Ridgeback Lords is going to pick up Zarya here. I don't know that Zarya fits their comp that well, and I don't think they want to pick Zarya just purely to deny it. But they're going to do the best they can. They're going to ban out Tassadar. So Ridgeback Lord's still missing some damage, so Divine 9 looking to probably ban out a damage dealer. Could be Li Ming, as she is fairly strong on this map. No, it is going to be Zarya, which... Okay. I don't see any obvious shield targets on the side of Ridgeback Lord, so I don't know who you would pair Zarya with. There's still certainly time to pick up someone who would benefit from the shields. But if you're Divine 9, I think you just kind of guaranteed that Vala is going to be extremely squishy. But it's going to be Jaina and Falstad picked up for Ridgeback Lords, so they are really going to try and deny any kind of wombo combo. You guys wanted Zarya. I'm not sure why you guys would have wanted Zarya, but maybe there was another pick you guys were going for that Zarya would have gone well for. But absolutely no wombo combo potential going to be available for Divine 9 as Jaina picked up. So not going to have any potential Zeratul follow-up other than Sulfurous Smash. But also Gus to just disengage completely. So if your team does get Void Prison, as long as Falstad's not in it, just gust everybody away. And they're pretty much fine. So Murray and Li Ming going to round out the composition for Divine 9. And last pick here for Ridgeback Lords, who I think probably need another frontliner and soul laner. I'm guessing Alarak once again, as that did seem to work out very well for them last game. And Alarak it is. So it's going to be Alarak and Ragnaros most likely in the top lane. And it's going to be Vala, Li Ming, Murden, Rhaegar in the bottom, along with yeah, I take it back. It might not even be, might not be Alarak in the top lane. It might end up being Falstad. And they can have Alarak in the 4-man, roam with the team, look for picks. As Alarak can be very, very scary with ETC. If he's able to land a power slide, Alarak can combo off of that very easily. But yeah, if I was to sum up everything that Ridgeback Lords is doing this game, pretty much, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Prepare for combat.
You know, essentially a double point control map. Sure, do it again. Alarak, sure, do it again. Jaina going to blow all of her mana on that one combo there.
Battle commencing in 10 seconds.
But right off the gate, looks like it is going to be Alarak, Ragnaros, just going straight top.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the
As they look at the,
battle begin.
I guess, collision shapes on all these different things. So Divine 9 definitely does have to be careful here in the middle lane as Ragnaros is up top. So I just want to make sure they don't get poked out. Oh, by the way, I probably ought to introduce everyone, but On Malfurion, for Ridgeback Lords, it is Kina on Malfurion, R. Rose on ETC, Dami on Jaina, Epic on Malfurion, and Stixa on Alarak. And for Divine 9 is going to be Jason on Rhaegar, Ohio 03 on Vala, Rabid Penguin on Muradin, Nyanyu on Li Ming, and Ice Fox Emily on Ragnaros, who has gotten an early lead on the top lane, thanks to skipping out in the mid lane brawl. You know, ETC looking at this duo here. Not going to be much he can do by himself, but with Malfurion, ETC, and Alarak coming, maybe he can look to do something. But no. Divine Knight wisely going to back off, not going to take the bait.
Shrines and the dragon's power is yours.
And they're not going to step up far enough to get power slid on. Meanwhile, Malfurion going to try and solo take the bottom shrine. Definitely has to be careful there. But he does have ETC for the protection. So, not going to... Ridgeback Lord's not going to be able to get the bottom shrine for now, but it is going to be Stixa on Alarak taking the top shrine. So, both teams content to trade out these shrines for the time being, but it's going to be Dami on Jaina securing the kill there onto Vala, who looked like... I didn't totally see it, but it looked like it was definitely the power slide root combo, which is so prevalent, so good. But with that first kill, could see the first Dragon Knight of the game here. Now, Malfurion going to do a great job of body blocking Li Ming's attacks, but very difficult to block all of the magic missiles as they just zip right by Malfurion. Meanwhile, Alarak and Rag battling it out in the top, but that is going to be Ragnaros winning that for the time being. So, definitely an edge in the rotations here for Ridgeback Lords. Doing a great job of rotating between both lanes. It's going to ensure that they don't miss soak, but of course as soon as they rotate mid, that means they're giving up control of the bottom shrine, and Ragnaros has been doing a great job of winning the top lane. Of course, did have some help from Li Ming, who is going to just get the teleport off in time. I think if False had been a little more aggressive there, may have been able to get the kill on Li Ming, but instead chose to fly to a very, maybe too safe location. But he's choosing not to be like me, not feed constantly. So, 2-on-2 in the top lane. But meanwhile, Li Ming looking like she's going to heart, but no, changes her mind. That does mean it is a 3-on-3 in the mid and bot. Level 7 just picked up here for Ridgeback Lord, so going to have a Talenter advantage. Possibly a man advantage too. Now I take it back. Ends up being a 1-for-1 as Jaina does get descended upon, but ETC able to secure the kill on Vala. False coming in, not going to be able to secure the kill there on Muradin. Meanwhile, Ragnaros did rotate to the middle lane. Wants to make sure that Dragon Knight was not channeled, as False could have been flying there. ETC not going to be able to get that off, as control of the bottom shrine was lost, but wouldn't matter because Ragnaros was sitting in the bush, waiting to drop a living meteor on him. But control over both temples is going to go over to Ridgeback Lords. Meanwhile, Rhaegar in some trouble, drops the totem, trying to escape. But unfortunately, that is not going to be enough. You know, Vala going to continue on the camp. She does have to be careful. She is visible on the map here, but apparently no one cares. Apparently they're content to let a 1 HP Vala go ahead and take the camp. But that is going to help Divine Nine get some pressure on the lane while the dragon is going. So bit of a counter push. Something else that is forcing Jaina to respond to it. Jaina, who just ate 2 orbs to the face from Li Ming. And Li Ming did go Orb Build, did go Triumvirate and Zay's Vengeance. So going to get those quick resets on her orb, assuming she's able to land one from a good distance. Jaina maybe being a little bit careless. You know, level 10 has been picked up here for both teams. ETC sitting on his heroic choice. Whereas it is going to be Counter-Strike, Cone of Cold, Gust, and Twilight Dream. For everyone else, very standard picks. This is definitely a map where Stage Dive can be very impactful. But Stage Dive also very impactful. This is almost certainly going to be Stage Dive as Wave of Force was picked up for Li Ming. This is usually how that game goes. But meanwhile, Sulfurious Smash in the top lane going to be dropped on both Alarak and Jaina. And Rag did pretty good for a 1v2, but predictably lost that. Meanwhile, Murden being descended upon, but he is going to... Does have tap available, and Pop's Avatar wants to be very sure that he survives. Now looking to turn the fight a little bit. Now, Divine Knight going to succeed in chasing off Ridgeback Lords. Meanwhile, ETC finds Muradin, who thought he was safe going into that bush, but ETC, who had already been in the bush, spotted. Fortunately, the Ring of Frost not going to connect.
Free him and destroy your enemy.
But Ridgeback Lords does have control of the bottom lane, but top getting pushed in pretty hard. Going to lose the well. But Falstad thinks it was global, going to prevent a lot of the potential damage. Could have been done there. Meanwhile, the siege camp is going to once again be picked up here by Divine Nine. And Murray looking to make something happen as they don't have the numbers advantage down here. But a 1-for-1 trade in the top lane where it was a 2v3. And Alarak does have to be careful. His life is awfully low, but thanks to him there is a gigantic minion wave here, so very difficult for Li Ming to do good damage when there's a ton of things in the way. So that's why a Nubarok is really good against her. But this is going to be Vala going down in the bottom lane, and interestingly, I think this is why we see her valuing the camp so much. She did go the Monster Hunter build, which you do see a lot on maps like Battlefield of Eternity. Question how valuable that build is elsewhere. But it is going to enable her to pick up camps fairly easily. Which is what they've put a lot of priority on. But Malfurion got to be really careful. This is a 3-on-4 up here. And that is going to be a big Sulfurious Smash combo coming down onto Malfurion, the stage dive. Not in time to prevent that death. I wonder if that was a bit of arrogance there from Ridgeback Lords, maybe playing a little fast and loose there. Now Fury decided, yeah, no, I don't need to check bushes. I can face check them. That's what I do best as a support. But ETC, get a power slide out of there. So, despite that one kill, that is still both shrines in control of Ridgeback Lords for the time being. But, of course, as soon as I say that, Divine 9 going to pick up the top shrine. And Li Ming going to the bottom to control get the bottom shrine, so... But Divine 9 does have to be careful. This is a 4v5 up in the top lane. Make that a 3v5, sorry. As Val are going to go down. But Cleanse coming out onto Muradin. Going to keep him alive. Gonna get him out of that nasty Ring of Frost combo. But Li Ming has the Illusionist able to teleport over that wall, but it is... No, actually, no, she didn't go Illusionist. She didn't need the extra range to teleport that distance. In fact, she actually went Glass Cannon, which is... Ooh. It's a little bit ballsy, I think. I mean, you're probably when that was locked in, probably down a level or two. Just going to make you even more fragile. Of course, it's also going to help aid in comebacks. I mean, if you can do a little bit of extra damage, it can help you secure some extra kills. Well, meanwhile, Cleanse coming down onto Jaina, but she is in a rough spot. The Gust not going to hit Muradin, and Jaina just continues to run into enemy territory. Roots coming out from Malfurion, but it is not enough. As Jaina is going down. Ice Block going to come up from Malfurion, enabling his team to escape. And despite the Talented advantage, that is 2 kills going over to Divine 9. Who are going to invade the siege cap. Not anything that ETC and Alarak can do against that. Not much false I can do either, but going to put a little bit of free damage on. This is likely going to be a Dragon Knight going over to Divine 9. Gust available in 7 seconds. But it looks like not going to be in time. This Dragon Knight picked up. Not sure Rhaegar should have been the one to have to take that, but no one else was going to do it. So Divine Knight going to have to be careful, as their ability to sustain in this fight is going to be a little bit hampered. As there's their support in there, but in comes a big power slide from ETC. That is going to be Vala going down, and Falstad gets the cleanse, allowing him to get the gust off. But Jaina has gone down as well. You know, the dragon going in hard. I think he may have been looking to interrupt the hearth there for Alarak, but you know, a very aggressive hearth also from Li Ming. Both teams showing a lot of balls in their Hearthstone locations. So fight ended up being a 1-for-1 Vala for Jaina. And now we actually see I take it back. I was thinking that there was a lead change, but no, it continues to be Ridgeback Lords. So big choke point. So Divine 9 has to be really careful here, as the Power Slide Twilight Dream combo goes down, as well as the Ring of Frost. But Falstad goes down. So for this is a 3-for-1. The chase is on for Jaina, and she is just going to walk out there and be greeted by an orb to the face by Li Ming. So far this is a 4-for-2. Don't think they're going to be able to get Li Ming as well. That is going to be another fight won
The shrines are gathering power
for Ridgeback Lords, who are now a little bit,
from within the stone.
let's say 80% of a level away to level 20. But Shrine's about to be activated once again. Everyone should be up by the time these Shrines are activated. It's gonna take Jaina a little bit of time to get it in the lane. Murden as well, but for the most part, everyone going to be back out on even footing.
Free the Dragon Knight and slaughter your enemies.
So my Fury going to get control of the bottom shrine. Ridgeback Lord is going to also help themselves to the Bruiser camp in the bottom lane. You know, the combination of Rhaegar and Vala going to pick up their own Bruiser camp. And I think at this point everyone is showed on the side of Divine 9, so ETC probably going to go ahead and I was gonna say get the shrine and then stage dive in, but everyone felt pressured on the side of Ridgeback Lords, so didn't have time to get the cap and power slides right in, or stage dives right in. If I could speak, words hard, English hard, but this game's going to be even harder now for Divine 9 as they are down 4. Level 20 was reached a little bit ago by Ridgeback Lords, and False Eye going to use his global to go top, get control of the shrine, not even caring about the camp that is beating on that fort. Wasn't really anything you could do to save it anyway. And I mean, a fort 17 minutes in, not the biggest of deals. But so far, everyone's still dead on the side of Divine 9. I was wondering if maybe Dragon Knight was going to skip this fort, go right for the bottom keep, but now going to take down the middle fort. Now looks like go mid, going to start on this middle keep wall. Meanwhile, Vala is back up, as are Ragnaros and Rhaegar. And Ragnaros did go, he went Submerge at level 20, looking to see if he went for heroic difficulty, but and the dragon wisely kicking Ragnaros away, so he can't do this, but it only bought a little bit of time. That is going to be Molten Core coming out from Ragnaros. So the dragon and the rest of Ridgeback Lord just going to shift their focus to the bottom lane. Molten Core is now down, so they can pursue this a little more aggressively. In comes the stage dive from ETC onto the Rooted Vala. And the Twilight Dream is there. Down she goes. Murden goes down as well. And that is 2 more picks here for the Ridgeback Lords. Looking to maybe make it 3 of it now. Ragnaros going to escape. Meanwhile, this bottom keep going to go down. ETC using Bolt to get out of there. And also going to help themselves to the siege camp of Divine 9. Looking to deny some of the camp pressure that Divine 9 has really prioritized. So I think it's smart to take that away from them. I'm just going to go ahead, rotate up, and pick up their Bruiser camp as well. So the Molten Core was able to save the middle keep, but bottom keep did go down. And with... I don't know, I feel like Ridgeback Lords probably could have finished off that middle keep as well. Molten Core was not up. And it was a 5v3. Could have maybe ended there. But Stage Dive going to come down onto on a Divine 9. But the anti-synergy coming out. As that is a bit of a miscommunication there on the side of Ridgeback Lords. As far as I know, all divisions are best of 3 now. I don't know that for sure. It seemed like initially the teams kind of had a choice of what they wanted to do, but it's been 2 out of 3 in every game I've casted since. But that's going to be Ragnaros going down. But Falstad really got to be careful, and these Hungering Arrows somehow kills him. That seemed like it took a weird bounce, and that is... So far, that is going to be a 2-for-1 ETC going to manage to power slide out of there in time. And dodges the Stormbolt, so that really could have been worse here. No! He ends up going down after all. Oh, the Orb build. Oh, it was Arcane Orbit. The level 16 talent from Li Ming going to be enough to secure that kill. So, just when things were looking extremely good for Ridgeback Lords. Yeah, ETC not expecting the Orb build from Li Ming, but hey, that's been a thing since about level 7, so. But that is good. This could potentially be bad. No, I take it back. Falstad is going to be up momentarily, so he will have Gust. Malfurion going to be up soon as well. And ETC also going to be up. And Ragnaros had to go back to clear as catapults were starting to mount on the core, which is already taking damage. So, going to be difficult to have any kind of substantial push, at least until Ragnaros gets here. We'll have Molten Core available. Let's look at it on this bottom fort. But Stage Dive coming out, unfortunately going to miss everyone. Not the best Stage Dive ever, unfortunately. I mean, ETC could have just walked right out here and accomplished the same thing without having to use a heroic. But little itchy. And meanwhile, these orbs are just absolutely chunking out Jaina. Orb build proving to at least get some value this game. But the great face melt into the root. But Murray got the cleanse and gets the ancestral healing, and Falstad ends up going down. Even though he got the cleanse, there is no escape from Sulfurous Smash. So things looking very good now for Divine 9. I don't think they'll be able to end, but they did end up getting that bottom keep, and the Molten Core going to come out from Ragnaros. So this could be scary. But meanwhile, Murden getting really chunked out. Does not have Avatar available. And Ancestral down as well, so the poking not going to accomplish too much. But Power Slide coming down onto Murden, but he's going to Dwarf Toss right out of there. Storm Shield was activated by Rhaegar. And that's going to be Divine 9 on full retreat, but largely they've evened things up. Yeah, they took the bottom fort, or sorry, bottom keep, so that is going to cancel out the catapult pressure in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, ETC now has Stage Dive available, so that is come off cooldown after the failed attempt at it earlier. Alright, so next set of shrines coming up here in 5 seconds. So ETC definitely has to be careful, as he knows this camp was just picked up by Divine 9, so ETC wisely choosing to just get out of dodge. Choosing not to be greedy. I think a lot of ETCs probably would have tried to get the shrine first and then Stage Dive out, but so many interrupts available on the side of Divine 9. So ETC wisely wanted no part of that, but going in, gets really chunked out, forced to bolt out. Falstad getting super chunked out, gets the cleanse, and gusts everyone else away. And Murden going to go down, but Falstad goes down, which means Li Ming and her dreaded Orb build going to get a reset. But the Counter-Strike coming out from Alarak not going to be enough, and so far things not looking good here for Ridgeback Lords, as another orb coming out, going to secure the kill. And that is going to be a 4 for 2, but Li Ming went down somewhere. Not sure where she went down, but ETC going to at least deny the Dragon Knight for the time being. Which is actually huge, because if this Dragon Knight was taken right then, there would be no one to defend it, but now it's going to buy his team like a good 20 seconds or so. So, False Stat going to be up. Malfurion and Alarak going to be up, so this is going to be defendable now. I think. Malfurion still got 20 seconds, Jaina still got 25. I think with a good gust, I think this is doable. But so far the wheels have really come off here for Ridgeback Lords. And you know what, I gotta give a lot of the credit to Li Ming. You know, I think the glass cannon and orb build are really paying off. Divine 9 was down fairly heavily early, but you know, thanks to the comeback XP that you get from actually securing kills, that they're back in this. So Divine 9, so far not really doing too much with this dragon. Just kind of dancing around looking for an opening, but you know, a 26-27 minute Dragon Knight, you have a lot of time and health on it. So even though half of its time is gone, still another 45 seconds left. Guess the dragon's about 2 minutes, but these orbs chunking out the members of the Ridgeback Lords. But that is going to be a 2-man stage dive and Ring of Frost, but a huge Ancestral Healing goes down onto Vala. But the Twilight Dream going to finish off Rhaegar and Vala. But ETC is down, but this Dragon Knight focusing on the core. And meanwhile, Jaina getting just wrecked by these orbs from Li Ming. But Murden has gone down. But 20% left on the core. And it's going to be enough. That is going to be Divine 9 taking game number 2. Yeah, I mean, just looking at this, I mean, Li Ming, MVP. I mean, 9 kills, tons of damage, least deaths, and yeah, well done. Well done to Nyanyu on Li Ming. Of course, that has to be the one whose name I have no idea how to pronounce, but hey, her orb build, her glass cannon orb build, that's gonna send us to a game number 3. So. We have a series, folks. Okay, so like teams do have the choice now of like best of 3 or best of 1. It seems like every game I've casted has always been best of 3, but maybe that's just what most people choose. Whereas maybe Pro Division is just automatically 2 out of 3. That could be how it works. Yeah, I don't want to call it Dami on a Jaina, but yeah, it was. I think it's safe to say that Divine 9 had the better mage that game. So. It happens. Sometimes you get outplayed. But there's just no question. I mean, Li Ming just carried that game. I mean, just the aggressive, bold talent picks and the amount of kills she was able to secure at the end there. Well done. Plus, Li Ming does get a gigantic power spike at level 20 with the repulsion. Alright, but game number 3 is getting underway here. It is going to be on Infernal Shrines. So, you know, I mean, the first time these guys played, or I guess the last time these guys played, it was about a month ago. And it was very similar to this. You know, it went 3 games. They were all pretty close. It was a good set. And this is shaping out to be another one. So, 2 very good teams, 2 very evenly matched teams. Now, this is only Division 1. It's a whole other division above this. Not that, you know, honestly, not that means all that much anymore. I mean, now the teams can pretty much pick what division they want to be in. I don't know. I'm not sure how much what division you're in matters much anymore. Here we go. Draft underway here for game number 3. Final game here between Ridgeback Lords and Divine 9. Will Dahaka be banned out again by Divine 9? It's my question. So this time it is Ridgeback Lords with the first pick, first ban. Like it was for first game. So, a lot of different ways you can go on this map. You can go for wave clear, shrine control, team fighting. But this is a very versatile map. But it's going to be Ragnaros banned out, so don't blame him one bit. But Ridgeback Lords do not want to deal with Ragnaros again. Of course, it also means they can't pick it, but if they weren't planning on picking Ragnaros first, may as well ban it out. But looks like Vala being highlighted by Divine 9. Which would be a change in their strategy, as they were always banning out Dahaka, but Braxis Dragonchild could certainly understand that. So, will they lock it in? Divine 9 thinking very hard about whether or not they actually want to go with the Vala. And it will be Vala after all. And this can definitely be a map where Vala can definitely be pretty scary. And she's able to maintain her hatred stacks very easily. Ugh, itch. Thanks to the little shrine creeps. You know, she always has something to auto attack, keep her stacks up. But it is going to be Lucio picked up for Ridgeback Lords once again. They have very heavily been prioritizing him. I think he was picked in games 1 and 3. I think he was banned out by them in game number 2. But yeah, I do think this is a pretty strong map for Lucio. Lots of little walls he can ride off of. But also the objective brings everyone to 1 point. So his area of effect healing gets a lot of value. Is usually proccing that on multiple people. So this is going to be Zarya and Kerrigan picked up for Divine 9. So they're going to have Zarya who can really poke at people around the objective and going to be able to provide Kerrigan with a lot of shields. Which will allow her to be pretty aggressive in team fights, and Kerrigan is an excellent shrine babysitter, so they're able to get control of the top shrine, or any of the shrines. Kerrigan will be able to finish that off pretty quickly and not have to give up anything for it. But it's going to be Dahaka Gul'dan picked up. So Dahaka was banned out both the previous games by Divine 9, but they have left him on the table this time and going to be picked up here by Ridgeback Lords. And Gul'dan as well. So far this is an awful lot of sustain on the side of Ridgeback Lords, and that does seem to be like what they do best, what they like to do. That was definitely their strategy on Braxis Holdout in game number 1. Pick double support along with Lucio and Vala and Tassadar and just really out-sustain those fights. It looks like Divine 9 don't want to allow Lucio and Tassadar to go through again. So, gonna go ahead and ban out Tassadar. So, counter ban here coming up for Ridgeback Lords. Probably look to ban out a support. I know that Malfurion is the best support for Kerrigan, but the fact that Kerrigan does have Zarya behind her for that burst protection, I think a Malfurion ban would make a lot of sense. And there it is. So, 2 more picks here for Divine 9. You know, I seem to recall from the last set that they played that Dami was considered really good on Falstad. And Ridgeback Lords had Falstad last game, but for whatever reason they decided not to put Dami on it. So, I don't know. But 2 more picks are coming out for Divine 9. Still need a support, still need a tank. And I think you need a support with Cleanse to deal with the drag from Dahaka, so probably Rhaegar once again. Well, Morales also has Cleanse, so that actually works. And I actually do really like the Morales pickup. So Morales is, she's very good unless the other team has a lot of dive and they can get on her and kill her. But it's actually looking like a lot of sustain on the side of Ridgeback Lords. Currently, all Morales has to worry about is Dahaka basically burrowing behind her, get a drag. But it's going to be Tyrael and Anubarak picked up for Ridgeback Lords. So a tremendous amount of sustain, tremendous amount of tanking. That is actually, it's actually triple warrior for them, which is, it's kind of nutty. So it looks like they're just looking to protect the hell out of Gul'dan and let him just absolutely go ham, so. Which can certainly work. But no, I think this could actually be fairly terrifying from Ridgeback Lord. So, 3 warriors, 3 melee with Lucio, who can activate speed and allow these 3 melee to get on top of the members of Divine 9. That could be really scary. Now, Lucio is going to do a lot to enable the chase. But last pick here, and it's going to be Tychus. Which is immediately what I thought of when I saw this triple warrior comp from Ridgeback Lords. I mean, just a noob being picked up alone makes me scream. You have to pick up an auto attacker. As Anubarak is very much an anti-mage tank, which will be good against Kerrigan, but Zarya and Tychus not so much. So, yeah. Ridgeback Lords, they're just looking to have Lucio have some speed, have a very solid front line, just really sustain around these shrines. And I think they also want the triple warrior to make Kerrigan's life a living hell. That is the only thing I'll say about Divine 9's draft. Kerrigan may have been picked up a little bit too early. And you got to be very careful about picking heroes that are counterable that early in the draft. But here we go. Final game between Ridgeback Lords and Divine Knight. So on the side of Ridgeback Lords, there's going to be Domini on Dahaka, Kina on Lucio, Epic on Anubarak, Arrays on Tyrael, and Stixa on Gul'dan. And on the side of Divine Knight is going to be Jason on Lieutenant Morales, Ice Fox Emily on Zarya, Nyanu on Tychus, Rabid Penguin on ETC, and Ohio 03 on Kerrigan. So it looks like both teams looking to brawl in the middle lane. Is going to be Trauma Trigger for Morales. It's going to be Accelerando for Lucio, which is talent I see a lot of people picking up. It was actually going to be a Regen Master from Anubarak, but drag coming out onto Zarya, but unable to even get through the shields is Ridgeback Lords. So, I mean, really from both these teams, just a tremendous amount of defense and sustain. It's basically a support and at least a half on the side of Divine Nine. I mean, Morales, she's almost more than a full support. It's kind of insane. Meanwhile, this is ETC being really hardcore zoned out. But he's just going to power slide right through everyone. Meanwhile, it is Dahaka and Zarya up on the top lane. Which is a lane I would certainly expect Dahaka to win in the long run. But meanwhile, Tyrael just looking to disrupt the rotations coming out from Divine Nine. Wanting to make sure they don't get the soak. And they're going to succeed there. But meanwhile, ETC getting awfully low. But thanks to the healing beam from Morales, he is going to be okay. So, Shrine coming up in the top lane. And thanks to the superior wave clear on the side of Ridgeback Lords, think they're going to have a little bit easier time getting up to the Shrine. Although, they didn't have Gul'dan down here, so, man, maybe they're a little bit behind. But the chase is on for Zarya, but the only one who could really make that happen is Dahaka, and he needed Essence, so no drag going to come down on Zarya. So, early control of the Shrine is going to go over to Ridgeback Lords. Now, Gul'dan is going to very slowly be healed by Lucio. It looks like Amp It Up just came out, but Power Slide coming down onto Gul'dan. And he is going to go down thanks to the minigun from, or no, the overkill from Tychus. I really should rename. Let's just swap the names of overkill and minigun. But no, ETC going to go down despite the 5v4. Yeah, I feel like this was pretty sure this is the same player who played ETC in the first game, and unfortunately struggled a little bit. He's going to be re-engage on the Shrine from Ridgeback Lords, who are collapsing onto Tychus, and that is a lot of worries. But unfortunately, ETC or someone went like right. I don't think it was ETC. Could have been. He was on the other team, but I feel like someone allowed Tychus to get out there. That is going to be Tyrael going down. And don't think there's anything that Ridgelords can do to actually secure this. And, you know, this whole fighting sequence did make me fairly worried for Ridgeback Lords. I mean, Gul'dan going down earlier in the top. But by the way, is this team's only damage? Yeah, they don't really have any kind of burst protection. Lucio, not a burst healer. But yeah, the triple front line is supposed to protect him, but it's actually not what we saw happen earlier. As the flank did go down, under Gul'dan. But first punch of the game going to go over to Divine 9. Meanwhile, Kerrigan going to go in the middle lane and soak, whereas Dahaka is already soaking in the bottom lane. But Power Slide coming in onto on a Tyrael. But he is going to get away thanks to the speed boost from Lucio. This is going to be an early lead going over to Divine 9. Dahaka going to have to be careful. But he is going to waddle his way away from the displacement grenade from Lieutenant Morales. But this is going to be a half-level lead here for Divine 9. So I think if you're Ridgeback Lord, you have to be looking to try and keep this close. You know, you don't want this lead to get out of hand. You don't want to face a Kerrigan with a multiple level lead. You know, oh, Gul'dan going to... Oh, unfortunately, that is Gul'dan not checking the bush. And he's going to be blown up for the second time by Divine 9. So that's something like, you really got to be careful. If you're Gul'dan, you're basically the team's only damage. So I think you need to make sure you're not only being careful, but make sure you're protected and that your team has your back. Yeah, with this triple front line, they really the Warriors on the side of Ridgeback Lords need to make sure that they're protecting against flanks. So poor Gul'dan cannot be collapsed upon, but... And this is what I was worried about. This is why, you know, I really would have liked to see Ridgeback Lords keep it close. You know, play careful, make sure you're soaking all the lanes, because next shrine is coming up, and level 10 about to be reached here for Divine 9. Whereas Ridgeback Lord is still a good level and a half away. So there is really nothing that Ridgeback Lords can do to contest this shrine. Even if they manage to get an early lead on the creeps, they're going to have to back out as soon as level 10 is reached. Or else they risk just being absolutely blown up. So here you go. Level 10 picked up here for Divine 9, so... But in comes the Power Slide Mosh Pit, and that is a 2-man Mosh Pit. Make that a 3-man Mosh Pit. As Lucio just barely tiptoed into the edge of that Mosh Pit. But that is Anubarak and Tyrael going down. And that is why you leave as soon as the other team hits level 10. Actually, probably want to leave before they hit level 10. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Once the next patch comes out, I guess there's going to be some UI stuff to show when the other team is up a talent tier. The Expulsion Zone attempt, unfortunately, not going to work out there for Zarya. So Dahaka doing what he can to soak in the top lane, trying to get his team up to level 10, which has still not been reached. For Ridgeback Lords. So middle fort has gone down. This Punisher has taken barely any damage. It is going to be baited over. But keep wall going to go down for sure. And level 10 finally picked up for the Ridgeback Lords. This is going to be Sanctification, Horrify, Sound Barrier, and Adaptation. And this is going to be a Locust Swarm from Anubarak, but the medevac going to come out, and it's not going to be destroyed in time. As everyone is going to make the getaway down to the bottom siege camp. Not only that, but they're also going to pick up another wave of soak, which is going to be missed out by Ridgeback Lords. But the drag coming down onto Zarya. Sanctification coming down. But this is a fight that is down 2 levels for Ridgeback Lords, so they're going to get chunked out far more easily, but may be able to find the kill on ETC. Finally, Tyrael ends up going down, and Anubarak and Dahaka go down as well. So, crazy fight there, but due to them being up 2 levels, that is going to be Divine 9 walking away with the 3-for-none victory. And also going to help themselves to the bottom fort. Meanwhile, Morales went back for mana. Is just going to... She's not going to walk. She's not going to take a mount like a pleb. No, she's going to show up to this camp in style. On her medevac. And at this point, you know what? Hey, why not? Probably don't need to worry about getting out of dodge. Not with a 3-level lead, almost. Talent tier advantage. But the invasion is going down on the bruiser camp of Ridgeback Lords, and tell you it's not going to be able to chase as there is a fort up here. It's going to slow his movement. Very difficult to pursue Dahaka any further. So I really love this from Divine 9. They're just putting Kerrigan on the shrine, as she is an excellent shrine babysitter. Meanwhile, the rest of the 4-man squad continues to go elsewhere and get value. And Divine 9 also, they have medevacs, so in the event that Kerrigan is ever in trouble, the team can show up in a good 5 to 10 seconds or so. But they're going to go ahead and get a head start on this top keep. They're going to take down the gate and one of the turrets. Meanwhile, thanks to the Ravage build from Kerrigan, going to very quickly take down the 40 minions necessary. Meanwhile, Party Bush being set up here by Divine 9. Even though there's actually no bush there, but it's still a Party Bush. Principle is the same. But this is a very scary situation here for Ridgeback Lords, as I mean they're down 3 levels. Their top keep probably going to go down. Commandeer Odin is going to come out to try and do a good deal of damage, but that is the Expulsion Zone going to secure the kill onto Anubarak. But fortunately, the Horrify going to interrupt the mosh pit. This is going to be the top keep going down. And with only 1 kill, don't think there's anything more that Divine 9 can do to secure that, to continue pushing. They are going to be forced to back out. They're actually going to use the medevac to just go down to their bottom siege camp. I actually don't think they were spotted either. I don't think the ship traveled over any minion wave there in the middle lane, so even if Ridgeback Lords wanted to invade, it wouldn't know which camp to invade. But Divine Knight going to continue to paint the map red. So we're going to get the neutral siege camp and then look to invade the siege camp of Ridgeback Lords. Looks like this will be successfully taken, as no one really in position for Ridgeback Lords to defend it. Not that you would want to defend it either, as you are down the level 16 talent tier in 2 levels, so probably wouldn't be able to defend that if they wanted to. Meanwhile, Divine Knight maybe looking like they want to gank Dahaka, but no, he wises up to what is potentially coming. Hearth's right back. So next shrine coming up here in the bottom lane. I think once again this is unfortunately a shrine where Ridgeback Lords probably have to give this up, as they are down the 16 talent here. But Ridgeback Lords have to be careful. They should know that no one's going to the shrine yet, so they could be anywhere. Thought maybe they were looking to gank Dahaka. And it looks like they do decide to do that after all. But adaptation has been popped by Dahaka. So he is going to get super nice and healed up, but the medevac going to come out. Not sure where. Yeah. So maybe a bit of a miscommunication there. As Morales not going to be able to do too much at the shrine by herself. But that's about the best thing that's happened for Ridgeback Lords in a while. And that's the other best thing that's happened for them in a while. But not only did Dahaka not get ganked, but Morales going to go down. So despite Morales being down, this is still a 4-on-4 as Dahaka did have to go back and clear up the pressure that is on the core. But luckily for Ridgeback Lords, he is a global. He can come right back. But of course, the same is true of Morales, thanks to medevac. And thanks to the way medevac has been used over the course of this match. So Dahaka going to burrow in. Coming in through the back, looking to get a drag on ETC, but the power slide and face mail going to be enough to get him out of there. Meanwhile, Morales on her way back, as she is now up. And meanwhile, no health bar is really in any danger at all on the side of Divine 9, but the power slide going to come out, and that is going to secure a kill on Tyrael. Moshpit was interrupted quite quickly by Horror 5, but not before securing the kill there on the Tyrael. Dahaka going to go down as well. The sound barrier going to be enough to prevent Gul'dan from going down. So despite a little bit of a shaky sequence there, things once again are on track here for Divine 9. Who have a Punisher going into the bottom lane, but they're deciding, you know what, we knew even better than that. So they look to maybe try to attack the middle keep as well. So Punisher going to be baited over the wall and very quickly dealt with by Ridgeback Lords. Or is it? Still about 25% left on it. And here comes Divine 9. Power Slide coming down on Tyrael, who pops Sanctification, so he is going to be okay for the time being. The Eldruin's Might, not enough to get him out of there. But meanwhile, Dahaka going to get a quick sip from the healing fountain, which is going to actually be enough to keep him alive. But the middle keep has gone down. Bottom keep has gone down. It looks like a noob actually was the first to go down there. So this is 2 down on the side of Ridgeback Lords and level 20 Commander Odin, BM from Lieutenant Morales, and that is going to be game number 3, going over to Divine 9, who are going to take the series 2-1. So congratulations once again to Divine 9. They once again take a series against Ridgeback Lords 2-1. Once again, it won 3 games. You know, I don't know. Feel like game 2 really should have been a Ridgeback Lords games, but I think they may have been playing a little loose, a little sloppy, maybe a little overconfident, maybe not realizing that Li Ming won or build when she had been the entire game. But yeah. Congratulations to Divine 9. They will win their at least second encounter with Ridgeback Lords. But yeah, that is going to do it for me for tonight. I thank you all for watching. should be back next week with some more cheerleague casting action. Looking forward to it. But yeah, have a good night, everyone.